In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro discusses the recent inauguration of Donald J. Trump as the 47th President of the United States, marking his return to the White House after a tumultuous 4 years under Joe Biden. Shapiro reflects on the excitement and joy that filled Washington, D.C. during the inauguration, emphasizing the significance of Trump's comeback and the implications it holds for American politics. Shapiro begins by recounting the events of the inauguration day, highlighting the moment when Trump arrived at the White House, greeted by Joe Biden and Jill Biden. The atmosphere was charged with emotion, as chants of USA erupted from the crowd during Trump's introduction at the U.S. Capitol. Shapiro notes that Trump's return is not merely a referendum on Biden, but also a validation of Trump's policies and leadership style. He argues that the American electorate's decision to return to Trump signifies a rejection of Biden's presidency and a desire to restore what Shapiro calls America's golden age. Shapiro delves into the implications of Trump's policies, asserting that the election results reflect a broader endorsement of Trump's agenda. He draws parallels to Hegelian philosophy, suggesting that the political landscape has shifted back to Trump's thesis after the antithesis represented by Biden. This return, according to Shapiro, is a clear repudiation of Biden's administration and a reaffirmation of Trump's approach to governance. The podcast also features a touching moment during the swearing-in of Vice President J.D. Vance, which Shapiro describes as a sweet scene that symbolizes a return to traditional family values in politics. He contrasts this with the perceived abnormality of Biden's presidency, framing Trump's return as a restoration of norms. Shapiro provides an analysis of Trump's inaugural address, which he describes as both pointed and aspirational. Trump began by asserting that the American people have spoken, emphasizing the theme of overcoming the impossible. Shapiro notes that Trump used the address to highlight the failures of the Biden administration, creating an awkward atmosphere for Biden, who was present during the speech. The address was characterized by a sense of optimism and a call for American innovation, with Trump expressing a vision for the future that includes ambitious goals like planting the American flag on Mars. Shapiro highlights Trump's commitment to being a peacemaker and unifier, while also addressing the need for strength in foreign policy. He emphasizes Trump's focus on restoring free speech and ending government censorship, which resonated strongly with the audience. Following the inauguration, Shapiro discusses the swift actions taken by President Trump, including the revocation of numerous executive orders issued by Biden. He emphasizes that Trump's first executive order was to undo Biden's policies, framing this as a mandate from the American people to reverse the previous administration's actions. Shapiro expresses approval of Trump's decision to pardon many individuals involved in the January 6th protests, arguing that many of these individuals were unjustly prosecuted. The podcast also covers Trump's plans to designate drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, a move that Shapiro supports as necessary for national security. He discusses the reinstatement of the Remain in Mexico policy, which requires asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their claims are processed, and the potential implications of Trump's executive order aimed at ending birthright citizenship. Shapiro reflects on the cultural moments that accompanied the inauguration, including a performance by Carrie Underwood, which he describes as uplifting. He notes that the overall sentiment in the country is one of optimism, contrasting it with the negativity associated with Biden's presidency. Shapiro argues that even those who did not vote for Trump recognize the failures of the previous administration. The podcast concludes with Shapiro's commentary on the media's reaction to Trump's return and the broader implications for American politics. He expresses confidence that Trump's presidency will bring about significant changes and a renewed sense of purpose for the country.